Hello and welcome. My name is Auburn, and every Thursday on Stage It, I host a show called Auburn's Music Conversation. And then after the show, I record a song and an interview, and this is the interview part. This week's guest is Joshua Garner.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you have a website?
I do.
What is it?
Well, Reverb Nation.
Right.
Joshua Garner, and then I have a Facebook music page right now as well.
Gotcha.
My official music page, regular website, is actually in the works as we speak, literally tonight. So, within 1 week from today, you can Googleize my name.
Googleize. That's a new
music
verb.
page,
That's
and
a
you
new
will
verb.
see the whole deal.
All right. Well, let's get started with these questions. I'm going off the cuff tonight because I didn't type it up and print it out. First question is pretty much ask everybody this. Where were you born?
I was born outside of Toledo, Ohio,
Okay.
in a suburb known as Oregon.
Oregon.
Or if you would see the signs, Oregon on the Bay.
Right.
So Lake Erie was the nearest large body of water, and that's where I grew up, on the shores of that lake. Oh,
Cool. So you grew up where you were born.
I grew up where I was born.
Cool. Not everybody does.
Yep, exactly. I'm fortunate.
Yeah.
Very blessed.
Yeah. So that was my other question there. Do you come from a musical background? Does your family, anybody in your family play music at all?
Bipolar. So, my mother's side, no. They love the radio and all the worst musicians in the world. I shouldn't say that. I mean, that's not what I meant.
Right.
I meant an oddball choice of music. My father's side, absolutely.
Right.
So my grandfather was actually the first one to show me G, C, and D chords.
Nice.
And his guitar was the very first guitar I've ever played in my entire life. And since he's passed, it's been left to me. So that's my guitar now.
Oh. Is that the one you had here tonight?
Yeah, it's not. No, actually, I left that one at home because I have to wait till,
Yeah, I am.
it's in the family care until I'm completely established. So, but yes, my father's side, my father actually showed me the very first song fully I ever learned to play guitar was Neil Young, "Needle and the Damage Done," by my father, who was a really good guitarist and singer.
Right.
So on my father's side, huge.
Mm-hmm.
Mother's side, not at all.
Right. All right. What do you play any other instruments besides guitar?
I do. The piano, drums, mandolin, bass, and a little banjo. So.
Well, that's awesome. I have a mandolin here, actually. I don't
Bust
play it
it
as well
out.
as I should, but yeah. Well, not right now, but maybe a bit later. What is an artist that's really inspired you?
Good question. Well, let me think. One of the first ones literally is David, biblically David, in the Bible, the harp
Right.
player and singer, dancer, everything. So a man after God's own heart. So he did, from what I learned, to be nearly everything. And it was just a huge inspiration. But he was so honest with everything, whether he was mad or anything at all. He sang it to God. And that's how he felt. It was honesty. It was nothing primped for a mainstream filter. It was just completely from his heart. So that's number one. And as far as here, Michael Jackson.
Nice.
I remember listening to him on vinyl. So yeah, he was one of the biggest.
I've listened to Thriller on vinyl.
Oh, everything. Every single album he's ever had that has been on vinyl, I've listened to on vinyl.
Nice.
So him, Elton John,
Oh yeah.
Boyz II Men, John Mayer is huge nowadays for me, just because he's popular, but I feel he's underrated as far as his talent, and just a huge inspiration. And I love Rascal Flatts, like their songs they put together. It seems like for a while they were like mimicking the steps of my life, so it was
Right.
they're in there too. And so yeah, along that genre, I'm a little mix of everything. I feel.
Right. Was there a certain moment in time where you decided that you were going to have music as a career?
Yes, actually. I was 17. I actually remember the time period, not the day, but the time period. I made a decision, like a pretty long-term decision. And then when I was in the midst of it, it was restricted of all other rights, I guess. So where I was at in Georgia, it was a camp that you enlist to be in.
Right.
And you couldn't do anything other than just, what you were being told. So at the time, really what I had left was music. And since for some reason I'd smoked cigarettes a lot throughout my life, I couldn't at that point. And then I just started singing, and then I was singing songs that reminded everybody in, I guess it would be the platoon, like reminding them of songs that were mainstream, that reminded them of home. But then I didn't realize I could do certain things, and not to be egotistical, but like I was going from the heart, and I was just really just letting myself go.
Right.
So people in there were like, you really need to do something with that. And then I remember taking the tent poles and then the helmet, like the Kevlar, and then the footlockers. They use as a base, and then the poles for the bunks I'd use for a cymbal, and I would use them for like drums as I was singing songs.
Nice.
Like on our downtime, yeah. So
that's awesome.
Then I was like, there's no reason I shouldn't be pursuing this. I felt.
Yeah.
So then at that point, it's just been set in my mind. So, yeah.
You mentioned that you smoked cigarettes a lot. Do you still smoke?
No, on occasion, unfortunately, but it's something that I feel like I treat myself to.
Well.
Pull the power.
Yeah, right.
It was around me a lot when I was younger, and it's something that every once in a while I will, especially on like a downtime, like a down night, if I had a few days where I worked really hard and things were pretty hectic, I'll go outside and I'll have one, but it's nothing that I don't actually buy a pack or anything like that anymore, so thank God I'm off that.
Right. So before you decided to pursue music, what did you want to do?
That's a good question. Literally everything. And I was one of those kids that wanted to do
everything.
everything. I mean, everything. I remember, too, still to this day, certain things I've checked off. I wanted to be a lumberjack in Montana, a fishing boat captain in Florida. I wanted to do crab fishing in Alaska. I wanted to do, what was it? A Wall Street investor. Like everything. A surfer. But I just wanted to do these things for a living. Like, I wanted to dabble, like, 2 years in each thing. Like, I had no permanent goal. Nothing that was clear that I wanted. It was just I wanted a little bit of every kind of life experience, at least here in this country.
Right.
And then to go from there. So then when I had music, I was like, I continued to do all those things that I wanted to do. And kind of put music on the back burner for a while. And then, thank God, literally I came to the point where I was like, no, it's time. Like, do what you're supposed to do. And it's where I'm at now, so.
Have you ever lived anywhere other than Ohio and Nashville?
I have.
Where?
Alaska, Phoenix. Alaska?
Wow.
I've lived in Alaska, yes. The middle, the Glitter Gulch. Denali State Park, actually, about 50 miles north of Denali State Park.
Huh.
So about 2 hours south of Fairbanks. I lived there. Phoenix, Arizona. Jackson Hole, just about an hour north of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, in the Togety Pass. Let me think. Rhode Island, Westerly, Rhode Island. Key Largo, Florida, where my license is from still to this day, actually.
All over the place.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yes. Virginia, close to Harrison, Virginia, in Shenandoah National Park.
Is it military family or something?
No, me. No, just all the stuff
just...
that I wanted to do. Del Rio, Tennessee, actually. I just did these things that I wanted to do. Like, I knew that I wanted to travel and experience as much as I could, so that's what I did. I just kept taking jobs in different places and saving money, paying debt, and I would meet people in each place and just keep building the resume in the hospitality industry mostly, and then play and sing everywhere I was at, so.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been kind of...
So did you sing first or play an instrument, and like when did that all start? Like when did you figure out that you could sing?
Well, I was about a year old when I played with my grandfather in church on stage.
Wow.
So he gave me a little guitar to play, and I was singing "I Saw the Light" and "I'm Coming Home."
Oh, I know that one.
So
yeah.
I'm almost home. Almost home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those two songs I learned like the back of my hand, and I kept playing them. And then I would around my mother, we it was more academic and sports related.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like into the grind of like a educational, active family. And then my dad's side was like more soulful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like let go and just, you know, see who you are. And
Right.
so I had a balance of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came to music, when I would not think about it so much, I would see my dad and they would remind me of it. So a little
Mm-hmm.
bit since I was 1.
Wow.
Did it just keep coming, so really thankful.
Cool. Last question in part 1. What's your favorite color?
Blue, hands
Blue.
down.
Nice. Any specific color blue or just all blue?
Not all blue, no. Like, I'm not sure what the color is, but it's not the darkest shade, but just before the darkest shade
Right.
of blue. So right before that, like light blue is okay.
Kind
It's
of like
no-
midnight.
It's like a midnight blue, but like a shade before, like
Right.
just before midnight blue.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the jewel tone.
Yeah,
kind of,
actually.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that's end of part 1. Tune in for part 2. We get a lot more interesting in that one. I promise. All right. Not that this wasn't interesting. This is totally interesting.
I'm ready and reeling for this and part 2. I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. All right.